All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for, knowing that I'm a human being and I have functions. Yeah, it's really weird that it's like it's not green, but it's going through my green screen like that. So, with that being said, let's check and see what this Road 202 Howlock deck can do. Not expecting a whole lot, but I'm expecting some fun. So that's what we'll try and have. How's everyone else? How's everyone else been doing? Oh wow, I'm actually getting ranked matches. That's weird. Usually my ranked matches take me a while. It literally must be the time of day that I play. That there's just not a whole lot of people playing at night. And during the morning is when I get into ranked. So let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have. I'm in, I think, Silver 3. The boogiest with a Razo deck. Someone is tryharding. Someone is tryharding a lot. I don't know if I actually have what it takes to do this. But we'll see. We'll see what we have. Alright. It's not bad. So if I do this, and I pass. Okay. Are you for real? A combo right off the bat. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna slam that down. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I can stream a Tantos next turn. Heal up a little bit. What are the chances he also has Tantosian Blacksmith into a Shade Ripper, into the Dust Town Assassin? Nobody does have Hammered On Enforcer. Alright, well. Clutch, dude. Very clutch. Let's see what we got. Okay. So I gotta remember what Razo does. I've seen a lot of people play Razo, so I'm just double checking. He's an item wielder. Very aggressive. And a chrono. Okay. Okay. Okay, got another Mountain Fort, which will help with how aggressive he's being. I think any sort of prevention right now is good. Sun is not bad. I don't think he's going to be playing a whole lot more combos, though. Dude. Dude. Someone is tryharding with these cages. Someone is tryharding. Well, alright. It really stinks to know that once again I need a Road 202 to do anything in this deck. That's what feels really bad. And there's no way to search for it or draw it. He's got Cages of Oppression. Cool. Get to do that. Yeah, I guess. Well played. Am I dead? I mean, I could just be dead. Once again, healing for one. It's just like... Cage needs to be just any healing. Otherwise, you can just do this all day. Yeah. I mean, if I have to, I will just play Mountain Aggro all day. So that I don't have to deal with this stuff. And it stinks that not even 5 minutes into my first game. 5 minutes into my first game. I'm saying that. It's not bad. So I got rid of his spin blade. I was gonna say, he probably has a third item though. Oh, a Skyrider. Okay. Crushing blow the Skyrider at least. Like, that's the thing, is I don't think the Skyrider is the one I need to kill, it's the Tome. But I can kill one of them. Yeah, just... I mean, what am I gonna do? It's legitimately come down to the fact that I just need to play tempo aggro all day. Personally, that's boring to me. Personally, that's very boring to me. But the cards just aren't here yet, and the only cards that are here are Gauge Repression. Just makes me sad. Makes me real sad, you know? Leeches aren't going to do anything because I can't remove it. Just feels bad. I mean, he's probably just looking for another cage. I've yet to draw a second Road 202. And there's no searching for it. There's no searching for a specific location card. So Road 202 is not good. It's just not good. I literally can't do anything. Okay. Okay, still haven't found a second one. I've drawn this Crystalline Altar at least 3 times now. Alright. I was gonna say, he's probably got another item in there. It would make sense to me. He doesn't. Interesting. But if not, Cage Repression still is what kills me. So that's cool. Cool, good to know. No. No. Well, cool. Good game. Good game, dude. Good game. Good game. So yeah. Casual match. No, that was ranked. That was ranked. These didn't help at all. but we are simply going to be playing in a Cage of Oppression meta, which means Cage of Oppression. That's what it means. It's exactly what it means. So, three cages in, because it's what's in the meta right now. There's no reason not to include them. Feels bad to say it, but it is. That's exactly what that means. Why did he play Tantosian? He probably thought he had another item. He probably didn't see that I milled his spin blade, so he's probably searching for that. But yeah, him killing my Road 202 right at the beginning and then me having no way to search for it stinks. Like, it really stinks. We'll try it again, see how it works. But yeah, Cage of Oppression, like, you gotta have it in there. If you don't have it in there, you're not playing ranked. Goes in every deck. Can't be removed or returned. And as long as you're healing for one, which, you know, really easy to do and get a lot of really good benefit out of it. I'm actually surprised he's not using the Aqua Dart staff, because I think that's like 2 damage, and if you're below 15, you heal for 1. Once again, healing for 1, like, with Cage of Oppression, they really need... Yeah, heal yourself for 1 if you're below 20, the Aqua Dart crap. They really need to fix Cage, to just rotate on the healing. Yeah, it really is. With Duskglade Tome and Aqua Dart Crab, just run cages and use those. That's all you need. You heal for 1, heal for 1, heal for 1, and all you're doing is playing Cage, which can't be prevented, can't be removed, and you're just playing those items. And that's it. That's all you're doing. And it's effective. It's that effective. And it's almost a simple fact that, like, we're still effectively in the same type of meta that Tentacles were in and that Bombers were in. That it's essentially, if you're not playing these certain cards, what are you doing? Like, it comes down to that. If you're not playing these cards, then you're not winning. And that's a very stale meta. Very stale. Haven't been on in a hot minute. I mean, yeah, it's like that. And I was a big advocate for getting Tentacles changed, and they did. They did change it. I was very happy about it. And yeah, the next one that I'm hoping they change is Cages. And Cages literally just need to be like, if they rotate whenever you heal. I think that would be fine. Because right now, being able to heal 1 is extremely easy to do. So all you have to do is heal for 1 and get the benefit out of you doing damage, drawing card, and keep the cage out. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. And there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing they can do. Drawing. Okay. I might put down a Mountain Fort next turn. We'll see what he's doing. I mean, he's building up something, right? He's also playing Gem Forger, which means he's running items. So that's fair. That's fair to do. Okay. Okay. I have Recarving in my hand. So I'm actually okay with, like, dumping some stuff right now. Question is, I think I'd actually do this. I do a Territorial. Feels fine. Hey, look, guys, I got Cage of Repression back. Yay! Why not include cages in every deck? It's the new thing. Hey, what's up, Major Havoc? Oh, okay, Shattered Flame. Cool. I'll just Crystal Leech that. That works for me. Works for me. Crystal Leech and I'll Cage of Repression. Because it's what we're doing. It's what we're doing. Why not include cages in every single thing you ever want to do ever? Blacksmith. Tome. Alright. I could kill the Tome. Look at that, he's playing Cage and Tome. Shocker. Shocker. And yeah, actually I think Tome is the more dangerous one because I don't want him drawing cards. I don't want him drawing cards or healing for one. So I'm actually okay removing that Tome right now. I'm okay with it. And this is a portable turret. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think putting the mountain fort down is fine here. This will put him at 10. Then it'll go to 9. And if he doesn't heal, I have lethal. So yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Notice, we didn't win with Road 202. Because we didn't need it. Because it's not good. Oh no, I don't have lava bat or flame bats, so I don't have 8. I have 7 potential damage. I have 7 potential damage. But if he just doesn't heal, Cage Repression is killing the next turn. So yeah. So this will block the turret. And effectively, he needs to heal. He needs to heal right now. Otherwise, my Cage is it just kills him. He can't prevent the damage. And that's game. How to get the Tainted Miasma game or playmat and card back yet? I don't know. I really don't know. So okay. Road 202. We literally played 2 games, and Road 202 is terrible. It's you can't search for cards. It's way too slow in the meta right now. We'll leave it up as a deck to come back to, but if we're just playing, let's just build a solid deck for Mountain. Just grind out Mountain today. It feels really boring. It really does. Yeah, I mean, what do we want? What do we want? I'm thinking thinking we do just do Howlock Cages. We do build a deck like Muds, where it's just a Howlock deck, runs cages, runs a Skybeam, probably 3 Tantosians to make sure I get them. We're going to run the Aquadark Crab item. No, let's just run Tome. Tome is the only one we really want. If we run a Tome, we can heal for 1 and draw a card. Fine with that. Then I have 3 creatures, or 3 leeches already. Ooh, I got 20 shards out of it. Sweet. Sweet. Alright. Flame Chain Warrior is a solid card. Lava Tamer is really good. I think right now, 2 Mudslingers might be fine. Might just be fine. Put in some Flame Bats, because we're just essentially aggro. The only other buff we want in here is going to be... Where are you? Mountain Breakers. Maybe some Mountain Forts. Maybe. Just maybe. So what do we have? Not too bad. Pretty even around. What do we have for fire? Fire, fire, fire. Not a whole lot, huh? Could put a Flame Shard Giant in there. Or do we just look for unaligned? Do we just look for some unaligned cards? Actually, there's well, we put in 1 gateway. Trying to think for unaligned. What all do we want? What all would we want with unaligned? We have the Tome. Do we just add another item in here? I think we do. I think we just add another item so that our 3 Tantosians aren't that bad. Maybe we just add in a Skyrider so we can just discard for damage because that's just the best item in the world. I feel like one more, maybe like a crystal card would be fine. Maybe I do just add in a gateway. Doesn't feel like I need it, but maybe I do. Maybe it's just something I put in. Or 1 Geode Hut. so many choices here. So many. Yeah, if I just put in one gateway, I should be fine. Okay. Rupture's a solid card. Crushing Blow, Stream of Tantos, Recarving, all feel good. Invocation of Flames too, just like use the exact same combos I did in my last deck because these are the only good ones that Mountain really has to offer me, sadly to say. I mean, we could put in Rockhide Revenge, but I feel like we want to be proactive with our board. Recarving actually doesn't even feel that good. But it pays for the other ones really well, so I could just put in Fiery Weapons, since we are running Skyrider, and Skyrider could just be 9 damage for those turns. Could be. Yeah, why don't we try it? Just for funds. Just for funds. If it ever gets to it, I mean, then we have it. But otherwise, I don't think we'll need it. Just Howlock Cages. Because, I mean, yeah, all we do, Skybeam out first. Then eventually we look for the tome. Kind of just wait for cages to come. Damage them down. Mudslingers right now are going to be a solid card for us. Actually, if we just add in a third Mudslinger over this gateway, I think we're better. Because if people are running this many items, Mudslinger is going to be a clutch card. Mudslinger is just going to be like an OP card. If people are running, you know, tome and cages, then just making sure that tome goes back into their deck several times over feels good to me. And with that, I think we're ready. With that, I think we are ready. To just go back into ranked. Just play tempo. Just play tempo, play consistent. That's all we need. That's all we need. It's not fun, it's not interesting, it's not lively, but it's what works. Because, you know, Road 202, everyone's like, oh, it's a broken, busted card. It's really not. No. It takes too long to get off. You're dead by that time anyway. It's just, it doesn't work, it doesn't feel good. Do I go first too? I do, don't I? What is Charcoal Knight? When you play a fire card, you may remove a fire buff. Interesting. Alright. El John Boy. What do we have today for El John Boy? Swift Pirate. Okay. Those are good ones. 2 for 1 right off the first turn is always good. Especially when it prevents a major card draw on him. Cool. Cool. And yeah, we just kind of do our thing here. Rubble Roach. Alright. Pass. I don't think we put Mountain Fort down yet. Mountain Fort we want to go like when we're below 15 or something like that. Because we don't want to give him a really good Crystal Leech. This Colossus Skybeam is doing work on its own. no reason to do extra damage if this thing is... Oh. Cage repression. Feels very oppressive to me. Okay, so if you remove the Skybeam, it's fine. It's fine with me. Now let's do this. Now we have cages. And he just looks at it going, this is the dumbest card they've ever. And they had tentacles in Crazed Bomber beforehand. Alright, Swift Pyre again. Who's running a tome? My word. Yeah, I think just killing those right now is fine. I don't want Charco Knight to go ham with his ability. Yeah, then I just pass. I got my tome. I got my tome too. Isn't this great? Alright. Not using his tome, that's interesting. I think if I put my tome out as well. The thing is, like, this is just going away. There's nothing I can do about that. 2 cages. 2 cages feel good. They feel stupid? Yes, they do. But they feel good. So we'll draw first. Alright. Second cage of oppression. Bet he's feeling really annoyed right now. I would love to find either a Mudslinger or a Crystal card. Actually, I think I just double pass here. I can Flame Bat, put him down below. Just really start hammering him home. Three cages. If this guy does not just start hate emoting me real soon. Another Magworm. Okay, so remove the Magworm, deal damage. That works for me. Does he also heal for 1? It does heal for 1. Look at how many times there's healing for 1 effects. Well, I mean, we're going to draw. Let's see what we get. We got Rupture, which means we can Crushing Blow next turn. Means we can Crushing Blow next turn. Just Crystal Maze my opponent's Shatter Flame. That's nuts, dude. So you'll draw 1. I'll take 1. We'll Tome. That's fine. I think me killing your Tome is just really good. Yeah. And then I have 8 damage with Lava Tamer. 9, 10, 11, because you can't remove these. And this is what the meta is like. If you're not running cages, what are you doing? Which just immediately makes me see several flaws in this game. That there shouldn't be one card where you look at it and go, why am I not running this in every deck? That really makes the meta stale. Unless it's just like a draw card effect, like an Umbron Barkeep. That's different. That's different. That's you know, card draw is good for card draw. Oh, really? Okay. So I just don't attack him, or I do and still kill him? Cool. Cool. I mean, that's all you really need to do in this game is just don't do anything fun. Play consistent decks, and that's good. There's no gimmick. There's no like really hard combos to do. Just play cards that were reprinted from Awakening and cages. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Don't lay buffs. Buffs are actually bad in this game, as we found out. Unless they can not be removed. Then if your opponent just doesn't have buff removal on you, that's fine with me. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys want to know about the game? It's a fun game. It's a fun game. It has a lot of potential. I think right now we have several problem cards that are just making this very stale. I love how my opponents are terrified of going below 20 health. Why is that? Are they healing? What's going on, Major Havoc? What are you doing? What are you doing to them? 5-star socks, I'm sorry, hello. Welcome. Wow, I completely missed chat way up there. But yeah, I mean, it's how it feels right now. It's how it feels that a lot of these gimmicky things seem fun, but all you have to do is play attack and defend cards. That's it. That's all you do. There's no point in laying buffs. It's just, why? Why lay buffs when you can get the same effect out of your attack and defend cards? It's a problem. It's a big problem. And Cages of Oppression only make it worse, right? Cages of Oppression, buff that can't be removed, first of all, is the only good buff that's worth running, is the one that can't be removed. Doesn't, or ignores damage reduction. And there's so many effects in the game that can heal for 1 that all you do is just use those. And you're good. You're good. You know, in Dread, it's even more toxic, I would say, because you can use the Abyss Shades and heal for 1, with the Tome and heal for 1, and you're never really healing for 2, so they just stay out there permanently, and there's nothing your opponent can do. It's what it is. Unless they have Mari Bards. Unless they have Mari Bards, then it's different. Just open up some loot. We got time. Cool. Coolio. We have a bunch of solo stuff here. Use those real quick. Look at all the new power cards I got. Awesome. Kudos for me. Still says I have 2. I don't think I have any new light stones. I guess I have the 1. Still says there's 1. I have no idea what it is. No idea. But yeah, I mean, this is the game. One second, I'm gonna turn the fan on. It's getting kind of warm. Ratchet Garby? Dude! What's up, man? Ratchet Garby is an avid follower of the stream. I wouldn't say avid, he's on here every once in a while, but What do we have here with your Fraxinus Pine Husk? Hatchlings. Alright, cool. Not bad. Not bad at all. Do you have the Reckless Spirit? Do you indeed have the Reckless Spirit? Cool. Well, yeah, we got a cage. We got cages, everybody. Say location. I'd be disappointed. Beast. Interesting. Well, now he knows I'm running cages. So there's that. So we'll do this. And I think laying a Mountain Breaker is fine. Trying to get rid of Crystal Leeches. Oh! That is actually not a bad plan. It's actually not a bad plan to mill my leeches. It's not a bad plan at all. So I think just doing this to get rid of this hatchling is fine. Search my way for a fire card. And pass. Mudslinger. I mean, he's got to be running items, right? Mudslinger is going to be a clutch card. I'm telling you. Do I ever just Rupture right now for card draw? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. There could be some buffs like keeping Rupture in case he does run. What am I trying to think of here? Treetop Tribunal. In case he runs Treetop Tribunal. That's a thing. That's a thing. Mossridge Defender, okay. Here's pass. Yeah, because Cage of Oppression is dumb. It's super dumb. Okay, healing is fine. People are allowed to heal all the time. Decoy, okay. Interesting. Interesting thoughts. I'll just lay this. And I'll pass again. Mountain Fort's not bad. It's definitely not bad. There's the Treetop Tribunal. Okay. Okay. So, I think I just pass and hope I draw a Leech. Actually, blacksmithing into my tome for just constant defense. Why not? Feels good. I feel like cages wouldn't be so bad if they made it unique as well as stubborn. I feel like cages wouldn't be so bad if it rotated on any heal. On any heal. Because the point of cages, is to stop stall. It was to prevent stall, so if you just have a buff out there that goes through all the walls, does its own thing, all that yada yada fun stuff. But legitimately, it's become broken in a sense because all you have to do is get micro healing for 1, and then that's it. If you give it burn, it can be milled, and stall decks, aka mill decks, run that kind of thing. So I don't think really giving it burn would affect it. It's the fact that people are utilizing the heal for 1 and just having it sit out there. Oh, do I just win? Yeah. Okay. Sure. There we go. That's it. That's all there is to it. Just consistent cards. Make it so that my buffs really can't be removed. And just do all the damage for me. There's no reason to run anything else. No reason. No reason. It's what the game has come down to. Why run buffs? Buffs only hurt you. If buffs can be removed, they only hurt you. If they go off, awesome, it feels great. But when your opponent can 2 for 1 you, it feels really bad. Blackwell, okay. Well, it's a Selene aggro, probably. Crystal Leech is probably just a dead card in this deck. Like, most likely, it probably is just a dead card. There we go. Aggro. It's fine. I was expecting, honestly, an Astral Priest first. But here we go. Here we go. I almost want to say the only buffs, if any, I'm going to see in here are going to be card draw. Card draw buffs. That's it. That's all I will see. Invocation of Flames. It's fine. Same thing as Crushing Blow. Get 5 healing out of it. 5 healing for 1 more fire. I'd rather remove an item. It's more utility. Twilight Oracle, okay. Once again, so far, no buffs. Just putting that out there. It is going to be a theme. It's going to be a theme in Ranked. The only buffs you're going to see are maybe Cage of Oppression. Is it going to feel bad? Yeah, quite a bit, actually. You know what? I mean, I did see him draw the 7 healing. Yeah, why not? I got cages. I can do weird things like this. Why not, right? Essentially, I'm just trying to draw my cages. Infiltrator, okay. Are we gonna get back a, yep, just a 5 damaging card. Lay it again. Deal some damage to me. Okay, no, he's going for card draw. That's fair. He gets rid of a Pathfinder. That's what this comes down to. He gets rid of a Pathfinder. Like, for real. I think I'll lay a second one. And I'll heal for 1 and draw. Should have done it first. Yeah. See, in this game, Crystal Leeches, because of my Skyrider, are 4 damaging cards. That's what it is. They're not buff removal, because he has no buffs. Why would you run buffs? It makes me feel sad. Mind you, I am running buffs, but these 2 can't be removed. They just can't. Okay. Okay. So if I Invocation of Flame here and heal for 5, could be fine. I'll go up to what, 13? Yeah, it's... Why would you run buffs? What's the point of running buffs when your attack and defend cards will get you there the same time and in a probably more effective way at times too? Like, that's what's really sad about it, is what's the point of running buffs? Okay, so he's healing. He's healing. So he's in a state where he's a little, I guess. He's only got 2 cards, so if I put this down and I actually just heal for 1 and draw, get myself back up before he combos me again or does something. Guys, we got a Cage of Repression. All right. All right. Took us a while to get there, but we got there. He's not even Selening, which means the cards he has in hands are ones that he wants to keep. So he's at 10. So if I do this, and I Mudslinger him, that'll put him at 7. So if he doesn't heal, he's already used Planetary Alignment. So that's his big hitting combo. If he doesn't heal, I have Lava Tamer, Flame Bat for lethal. Okay. He does run a buff. Look at that. Guys, he actually runs a buff. Can you believe it? And a Pathfinder. Mountain Fort into that. Since those are the only 2 you can remove. You can't remove my cages, man. You can't do it. Okay. But he's got 2 cards in hand. Okay. So it'd be at 6. That'll heal him to 8. I think I'm actually okay with this. I still have Lava Tamer. Okay, so I take 4. Am I dead? I am. Good game, man. Oh, wrong. God, I always misclick. I do apologize. Risky? Yeah. I mean, he won off of not drawing at or gravity, but there wasn't really much I could do there. I didn't have healing to get me above 1. I did use the tome to heal for 1. Buffalo's Festival today? Not just today, dude. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. There's no point in running buffs in this game, and this game was designed to play buffs. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to get across here. Why play buffs? Why play buffs when your attack and defend cards get you the same result? What's the point? What's the point? I think I built a Mountain Aggro that just, it works flawlessly. It works flawlessly. Then I'll just play this and I'll show you, like, it has no buffs in the deck. I don't even think it has cages. This one Yeah, Crystal Bat, it's healing, Flame Bat, Flame Train, Lava Tamer. Oh, it does run Mountain Breakers. I apologize. It runs Mountain Breakers. Because they can't be removed. They can't be removed. So, yeah, why? What's the point in not running them? It runs a lot of efficient card draw. It's just... This is what the game has come down to. It's really sad to say. Oh, it's Blackwell again. Okay, cool. Like, it's really sad to say. Okay, he's actually going first. So these barkeeps are, I guess, just really bad for me. 4 damage. Alright. Pass draw. So he wants the card. Well, I can Crystal Bat into Barkeep. Draw me some cards. Alright. It's fine. Cool. Get myself a Flame Bat. It is what it is. Flame Chain Warrior is just 4 damage right now. Barkeep, I mean, just drawing cards. Why not? Ferris's ability gets rid of an Informant. It's card draw that's not a buff. Why not? Ooh, okay. It must really stink. I know. Opportune draw 2. Okay. These leeches are they're just dead draws right now. It feels funny. The leeches are dead draws. Actually, no, they're not. They are perfectly fine. They're perfectly fine. They got rid of Crazed Bomber because Tech would just run pure aggro and no buff. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is exactly what it sounds like. Search for another Flame Bat. Only Flame Bat. So he's at 11. Does he have healing? That's the question. Does he have the healing? Jim 2 million. Okay. Okay, so he does have the healing. He does have the healing. Good to know. I think I can just pass and draw here. Alright. Works for me. Okay. Blinding Beetle. Toss those back. I actually think I just passed draw. Flame Shard Giant into Lava Tamer feels good. Surprisingly feels good. It's 8 damage right there. Yeah. So he's used 2 Blinding Beetles and a Dusk Feeder on me. And a Twilight Oracle. There's a Pathfinder, because, you know, why run buff removal? And a Dusk Feeder again. He's having to heal a lot. Like, a lot. So, I think I just pass. Invocation of Flames next turn feels good. Feels really good. Again. For a Chimchum Militant. Okay. Then draw it. Oh, okay, it's not bad. Clutch, dude. Clutch play. Look at that. Clutch play, my man. Militant, okay. So you must have like a combo in hand or something, is what I'm sensing. Yeah. Ooh, okay, that's good. I mean, I could be dead. I could be dead. Astral just has a lot of healing right now, so. Infiltrator, okay. So he must know the game is not going to end well in his favor, at least. Astral would be the best option. He could heal again. Nope, okay. I mean, like I said, I could just be dead. I could just be dead. I'm at 8. I have no way to really heal. So that'll bring him at 10. I think all my flame bats but one are gone. No, I put one back in. I literally put one back in. I could be dead. He just has all attack cards. Interesting. Oh, okay. Luckily it's a Pathfinder. But I mean, yeah, this is what the game has come down to. Okay. That hurts. That hurts to see. So I literally could just be dead, like right now. And I'll do this. If you can pay for that planetary alignment, it's a good game. If you can pay for the planetary alignment. There it is. One turn away. Not a single one of us laid buffs. Because what's the point? What's the point? The only reason he really won that is because he was drawing cards and healing really efficiently. It's just what Astral does. It's just what Astral does. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this game right now. Like, I love this game to death. I hate the state it's in. I hate the state it's been in for a while. I really do. That you don't need buffs to play this game. Really hurts to say that. Like, really hurts to say that. Not a fan. Not a fan. It's tugging on my emotional heartstrings. It really is. To sit here and stream this for you guys. To sit here and stream this. And to just not enjoy it. It's just... well, you can run Rupture in Mountain, and you can run... what's the tech one that shuts down, that makes combos dormant? Or buffs dormant. You can run that. Like, there's stuff to make things dormant, but they're buffs. It's not effective. And it's a combo, so you can't run multiple in a game. Burn to death. It just... Guys, it hurts. It hurts me on an internal level. Like, you have no idea. how much this hurts. If Nova wasn't Legacy, Nova. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. It's guys, it kills me. It kills me to see this game this way. It kills me. It's so disheartening. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I feel like going and just playing draft because ranked isn't fun. Ranked is not fun. Mind you, the decks I played, I made in like 5 minutes. They're not refined. But it's the simple fact that, like, you don't need buffs to win. It's terrible. I do think there are a lot of problem cards right now, and this game is not going to be fixed for a few months when cards rotate out. Because, like, Selene is just a big problem. Why run if you're not running buffs? All you need is card draw. Selene is the best choice, and she's proficient in solar. I would say make Selene change her alignment to like superiority and lunar. Then maybe she won't be that aggressive. It's just guys, this game is breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart so much. So much. Because yeah, there's so many fun and interesting cards that are in this game. But why would you need to run them when all you need is attack and defend cards? That's what it comes down to. It's what it comes down to. It's sad. It's terrifyingly sad. And I'm sorry for being the downer. I really am. But it's starting to get to me. It's really starting to get to me that a game this fun, this unique and diverse, 1/3 of its card types are pointless in having. They're pointless in having. And then in that sense, 1/3 of an opponent's deck, their buff removal, is pointless in having. Because their attack and defend cards are so good. There's no point in running buffs. Like, let's go ahead. I think. I'm trying to think. I built an Astral Aggro deck. It's very aggressive, doesn't have a whole lot of healing. Not really for the tempo. But we could just you sound like you currently? Dude, it's so hard. Like I'm actually like I'm watching and playing other card games like Hearthstone. I'm Eternal. I've been watching a little bit of Warhammer here and there. It's like a lot of these games outside of Play Fusion's games are diverse. Magic the Gathering is different. It has some really bad decks, but like their card pool is so vast and it's so diverse. I've stopped streaming and playing. Dude, that's rough. You were like the #1 player, and having you stop playing is like, yeah. And it really comes down to, and there was a Twitter post that I read I'll just, you know what, we'll stop playing. We'll have a little talk session. Come into my office. We'll talk for a little bit. That right now, the way the game is, what's very difficult about the game is pretty much what they put themselves into, right? Every action is equal and relevant, so you can't make cards that have different power levels based on a scale, because every action has to be even. Every action has to be even. What their action is, you need to get an average of 2.5 out of every card, which means it's really difficult to make cards that are diverse, make cards that help swing games, all this other stuff, because this is the only card game I know where there's not a payment resource, like mana, like influence, or power, I guess, in Eternal. Like, this is the only game where there is no scale of, hey, this card's really good, but it's like, 10 mana. Like, that's how you balance this thing out. And because they ran on actions of 2 actions a turn, every single action card has to be even. Every single action card has to be even, which means your attack and defend cards are equal to your buff cards. And if that's the case, if that's always going to be the case based on their math system, why run buffs if your attack and defend cards have to be equal in value to your buff cards? Thus making your opponent's buff removal null and void. A third of their deck is a null and void. Okay? Then their combos. Those are the only ones that actually have a varying scale, because they're 2, 3, or 4 payments, right? So their combos are what is really diverse in this game. They're really fun to play. It's the other 30 cards of the deck. That, because of their action system, because the way they put their payments out, the way they made the game, because of their action system, there is no proper way to balance attack, defend, and buff cards and put them on a scale of like, okay, this one's really good compared to this one's really bad. It all just comes down to how much value you can get out of every single card, because every single card costs the exact same payment of 1 action. And because of that, I honestly don't know how they can change it to better the value of it. They put the actions on there, so you only make 2 actions a turn. They really wanted you to slowly build up a board of buffs. I think that's what they had in mind as the developers, is 2 actions a turn, so you don't just dump your hand. You don't draw at the beginning of your turn, so there's no RNG. You really have to think and plan at your turns. But because of that simple statement, that every single action card costs 1 action delay, every single card has to be even in equivalent value, which means that your attack and defend have to be somewhat equivalent, or if not even, to the buffs. And if that is the case, why run buffs that have the same impact on the game as your attack and defend cards do, and then make 1/3 of your opponent's deck null and void? And in which case, people are going to play around it by having cards like Selene, where you discard those dead cards to get value out of them. Or you run Skyrider in your deck so you can discard the dead cards to get value out of them. And that's not a buff. It's not a buff. And it comes down to the fact that, I said this before, and apparently people were really upset, I guess people like Mud Turtle, where what I said is your buffs, because they take a while to do, because they can be removed, they can be stopped, buffs need to have a greater value than attack and defend cards. Attack and defend cards need to get a lower value or lower impact on the game so that buffs are actually worth playing and running. And the way to increase them, to get them back to where the buff state is to give them incremental increases based on your board state, or even your opponent's board state. Give them incremental increases. Like a good card that I kind of gave examples to is kind of what Nature has been doing. Right, what Nature's been doing with some of their old action cards, if we can get to the actions, where, what do we have here? Like cards like this, obviously, it requires you to run beast buffs, otherwise you're not going to run this card. So it's something like that. There is, oh god, come on, where are you cards? They're the attack cards, essentially, what they did with attack cards. 3 damage, but you have to do something to increase the value. There is this one, 3 baseline damage, but increases depending on your opponent's board state. You have the Mantix Raider. Increases. It's a small number, but increases. Major Havoc. You are absolutely right. I am not on this screen. So we'll go back. Infected Wasp. 3 damage, right? 3 damage is fine, but it increases based on your opponent's board state. This one increases on your opponent's hand. This one gets an added benefit to your board state. Spectral Mob increases on your board state. Things like this are, in my opinion, what they need to start doing, what they need to start going towards for their attack and defend cards, is they literally need to be like a minimum of 2 to 3 damage baseline, but then get an incremental increase depending on what the board state is. Hey, Fadiggy, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's these kind of attack and defend cards that would feel good, because it's like, hey, you know, now I have to run these buffs to increase my attack and defend. Now I really have to set up the board state and do all this thing. Mind you, your buffs will rotate out, and you have to really time it, which is really difficult to do. Which is another thing. It's like, well, if buffs rotate out and I don't draw the card, then the card's just dead late game, right? Kind of in a sense. Oh, it's PH Diggy. Good to know. Good to know, man. Like PhD? Dude, are you a doctor? I am super glad I have a doctor on my screen right now. You can tell me when my heart's racing and tell me, dude, you need to calm down. Digital without the end. Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations on that, man. It's a good accomplishment to have. But yeah, I mean, that's what I believe in my opinion. In my opinion, the way they need to go about their future in the game. And I it's really funny that, like, nature's the one that I'm actually happy with. My PhD is in video games. Dude, serious? That's amazing. That's awesome, dude. I mean, I have an associate's degree in game design, but not a doctorate. Ooh. But yeah, like, one of the heroes that I saw in this new set, this one is an amazing card design for the future set, because it's a card draw, right? Card draw's amazing, but it's a very conditional card draw. So, it's not going to be run in every single deck. It's not going to be the top tier hero. You have to build a certain deck around it to get the best benefit out of it. And I feel like Nature's in that spot right now where Nature can do all this stuff, and it's doing it right. It's doing it correctly based on the board state, based on all this stuff. So it really feels diverse in its meta, or in its alignment, whatever you want to call it. But in this, you have cards in here, in Astral specifically, that just, hey, heal, move to attack cards back. Right now, no one's laying buffs, so that's always going to hit something. 5 damage. It's legitimately these cards right here that are holding the game back from being a buff state. Because if all you have to do is add items in to get the other just 5 damaging cards in, for 2 actions, you can do 10 damage in a turn, which is equivalent to like a 3-cost combo. That's 3 cards for 1 less damage. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand where they thought that was fine. Planetary Alignment is 3 for 12 damage, which is 2 more for 1 more card. I play so many buffs, so I'm interested in this. I have only started encountering difficulty because of that card. Because of Salvini or just Chimchu Militant? Like, what card are you talking about? But yeah, it's things like this. It's things like this where the Chimchu Militant is 5 damage, right? 5 damage for 1 action, 1 turn. Celestian Warrior is 7 damage over 4 turns. Over 4 turns. So, like, I don't know the whole math breakdown of what it does outside of your action phase, what the point system is, what. I would have to talk to someone at Play Fusion to see their, like, a numerical breakdown of how these cards are valued in each one. But I would rather get 5 damage instantaneously that has no chance of my opponent removing it from the board before it can do anything with one of their cards, and then spend the next 3 actions just drawing cards, right? Instead of hoping more damage comes down, I would rather just lay a card, have its thing affect the board, and then draw back up my hand and do it again. It's things like that I'm sitting here like, how do they numerically value all this stuff? And then here's another one. Where's Mageship? Mageship, 7 damage, but it takes 2 turns to go about. 1 card, yes, 2 more than Militant, but it's legitimately, you play it down and your opponent can then time it so that if they do even run a buff, they can put a damage reduction thing down there. They can do anything to really prevent it. Whereas Militant comes right from hand, is 2 less damage, but your opponent could not respond to it. Your opponent could not do anything to prevent it. They had to heal. They had to anticipate it coming down with damage prevention. They couldn't predict because you don't have a board state. It's this kind of game. It's this kind of game state that is legitimately making me go, why is this buff button even here? Why make buffs in a game like this if your attack and defend cards can do the same thing that your buffs are doing and your opponent cannot prevent you? There is no, like, you know, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's trap cards. In Magic, there's counter spells. In Hearthstone, there's secrets. There's stuff that interact on your opponent's turn. In this game, there's nothing. There is nothing in this game that allows you to interact on your opponent's turn. So the stuff that comes out of your opponent's hand, if it doesn't hit the board, they can't do anything about it. Perhaps Militant may become Legacy next season. I don't think so. Militant's been printed in every single set. I think it was reprinted in Kindred as well. But I mean, they will probably never remove a 5 damage staple card. They'll probably never remove it. It's just one of those things where it's not a matter of like, oh, these cards are broken, we'll move them to Legacy. It's not that, because there's a lot of stuff. I've said it before, this game feels like it's in the beta phase. It's finally reached the beta. We were in alpha for about 2 full years until Uprising came out and Awakening rotated out. Now we're in the beta phase. They still have bugs they're working on. They still have card erratas they're doing constantly that we're complaining about. This game is still in beta. And that's another thing in the back of my mind I have to keep telling myself, is this game is in beta. It's not a fully fledged game yet. They're still working on marketing. They're still working on getting all these sets out, perfecting what they're doing with Uprising and Kindred that really help the family dynamics, really help build different archetypes, and that's awesome. It's the simple considerable factor that every action card has to be equivalent to one another. What did I just hit on my keyboard? Oh my. That every single action has to be equivalent to each other in a point system they will base their cards on. And if that's the fact, if that's the case, then all of their attack and defend cards must be equivalent to their buff cards. So why run buffs when attack and defend cards cannot be interacted with your opponent? And if that's the case, this game becomes a completely non-interactive game. You're simply playing your deck, and whoever does more damage sooner does it. It's not about what your board state is, who set up a better board, who did something really cool with card interactions. It's who was able to draw their cards faster, who was able to lay their attack and defend cards faster and get your opponent to 0 without interacting at all. Without sitting there going, hey, I prevent you from doing this. Hey, I remove your 2 buffs and I lay this and counteracting. Like, there's no interaction. It's just, I do 5 damage, I do 5 damage, go. I do 5 damage, I heal for 7, go. I draw. 5 damage, 5 damage. 5 damage, 2 damage, draw a card. Go. Like, it's that. It's you just playing your deck. There's no interaction, there's no player interaction, because there's no buffs. There's no buffs, there's no board state for players to play against. Oh, I would love to get some games in sometime. I really enjoy the stream and only leave to play games. Dude, yeah, I love games too. I'm really happy you enjoy the stream too. It's just... yeah, I understand that, and the core mechanic of cards turning gets harmed. Yeah, it's the simple fact that, like, if you have a buff out there, your opponent can remove it. Your cards turning means that you have to legitimately set up a perfect board state with the cards in hand before they rotate out. You have a time limit on this, which is another thing too that a lot of other games don't have, because this buff is so unique. Every other game out there has units or enchantments that stay out there until your opponent legitimately removes them. And you can build up a board state and do stuff like this. With this, you're trying to build up a board state, but at the same time, keep it out there for you to draw the cards that interact with it before your time runs out and all your buffs go away. Isn't it just Selene just the problem? It's not just Selene. Selene's not the problem. Tempa's aggro is the same thing. You move one card from your hand that you don't like to draw 2 cards. Tech has some of the best attack and defend cards in the game as well. It's not just Selene. Selene is preventing Astral from doing anything else, because Selene is the #1 hero of all time, and why run any other hero in Astral if you have Selene, who's superior in your damage aspect and can draw you 2 cards a turn. Making a new mechanic for set 5 or 6 that is like a secret or something. Essentially, Freshen, yeah, essentially they need to implement a mechanic or implement something that allows you to interact in some way on your opponent's turn. They need to allow you to interact on your opponent's turn, whether it's giving cards. I don't know how many people play like Eternity or Magic the Gathering, but there's a mechanic that's like Ambush or Flash, where you can play cards at instant speed on your opponent's turn. If they had buffs like that, where you could lay them on your opponent's turn as opposed to yours, but like only 1 card per turn, or like you had to have not used an action or something like that on your previous turn to save up one, if they were able to do that, to like, hey, I attack you. Oh, I slammed down Moss Ridge. Like, I didn't have to anticipate you coming. I actually got to do something on your turn and lay a buff down and prevent the damage. Like, if there was things like that, then people would probably run buffs. Because then buffs would come out and you could do a whole bunch of things. Yeah, fast spell. It's things like that. If I send you a Whisper, I'll send you my player info. I can't send you one until you send me one. No pressure. All right. Yeah, fast attack or fast defend. But the thing is, like, I don't think those ever should be on attack and defend cards. They need to put it on buffs. If you're able to attack and defend it, maybe on defend you could do it, but you should never be able to put it on attacks. Never put it on attacks. Because the way that it would work then is like, okay, I slammed down a Moss Ridge, I'm at like 3 health. And you're like, okay, before you do that, I fast act a 3 damaging attack card and kill you, because it goes on the stack. You would have a stack process in every card game, and mine would come out first. And that'd be it. So it would legitimately only have to be on buffs, or maybe defend cards. But yeah, the game as of right now, because every action card is equivalent to one another, because the payment is equivalent to every card, your attack and defend cards have to be the same value or near the same value as your buff cards, the way the game is designed. If that's the case, why run cards that your opponent can interact with when you could run cards that your opponent can't do anything about and still get to the same spot? It's what the game state is in. And I'm hoping when Wave 5 comes out, what if those attack cards cost combo-like payment? Well, then they would be combos. Then they would be combos. It's the simple fact that because their payment decision was to do actions, as opposed to like a mana or a power or an influence or anything like that, every card has to grant you the same value. Otherwise, with their card pool right now, if it doesn't, you're not going to run it over other cards. You're not going to run it over, like, if it, we'll give it an example. If there is anti-gravity stamp, 2 damage, draw a card. If it's not astral, do 2 more. So 4 damage, draw a card most of the time, because you can in astral. If there was a card that's like, okay, we need to tone these down. We need to tone it down, kind of give it out. If this was 2 damage, draw a card, would you run it over anti-gravity stamp? The answer is no. The answer is no, because this has a potential of getting more value. It doesn't have a downside that you have to avoid. There's nothing on it. They need to make all action cards have conditional increases or decreases. And there are some. There are some in Astral, actually. I want to say it's a defend. Yeah, Crescent Fall Cultists. Draw 1 card face up. If it's solar, increase your damage. Otherwise, take 2 damage. That's interesting. That's a card that has a conditional increase, decrease, that can affect your next action and do a lot of other things. The simple fact is, people don't run this. People don't run it because it's very inconsistent. So why would I not just run any other card that allows me to just draw a card and heal? Especially if, like, hey, you know, for the rest of the turn, all my damage is increased by 3. You only have 2 actions a turn, and this costs you 1 of your actions. This costs you 1 of your actions. So you really only get the increase by 1 unless you build a deck to get you multiple actions. And all the cards that get you multiple actions do like 1 damage. So it's really not worth it. It's way too much of a difficult setup, very inconsistent. And because there's no mana resource where it's like, I have like 20 mana to use, I'm going to have a really good turn with this. I saved it, I waited till this turn happened, now I'm going to blow up. No. No. It's too difficult to set up with 35 cards, to draw this card, have the cards in your hand to be able to pull off that turn that you want, when your opponent at the same time has just been doing 5 damage, draw a card, 5 damage, draw a card, 5 damage, draw a card. That's 15 damage. That's over half your health in 3 turns. PH Digi, that's the thing. It's not in beta. I'm just saying the game feels like it's in beta to me. Because for the past year, I don't know how long you've actually been playing the game. For the past year, before Uprising came out, there was legitimately 3 decks. There was 3 decks that if you weren't playing one of the 3 decks, you weren't playing Lightseekers. You just weren't playing it. There was only 3 viable decks. It was a rock paper scissors format. And there was no room for error. There was no room for error, no room for other deck ideas to jump into the loop to try and make it possible. 3 decks. And if you weren't playing one of the 3, you weren't playing. And because of it, and because we didn't have a new set for almost a year, because like you said, you played since September, you know how long of a wait we had it. And now Uprising's here. Those broken cards rotated out. They errated a bunch from like 50 plus. Now they're rotating a bunch out. We're getting these new cards. And because of all of those changes, because of all the stagnancy that we had, we talked about which cards we didn't like. We talked about which ones were working, which ones needed to change, all this stuff. That's what made me feel like this game was in the alpha phase. Because the only people that tested this game were the developers. They don't have in-house game testers. They don't have people that they brought in outside to say, hey, play the game. Let me know what bug fixes you find. Let me know what cards are not working. Let me know if just broken interactions. Let us know. They didn't have that. They had the game developers play the game, and that was it. And they're still doing that. They still don't have game testers. They don't have beta testers. It's essentially us. That's why I'm saying this game feels like it's in beta now. Because they brought the new set out. They did their rotation. But the only people that tested it were in-house, the developers. So they didn't think outside the box like the player base would. They didn't be like, oh, wow, I could do like 200 damage in a turn. That's insane. When they're like, oh, we should probably fix that. We're still seeing some card erratas. We're still seeing some complaints. Cage of Oppression is a number 1 that people are complaining about that they need to fix. I complained for several times of how Tentacles needed to get changed, and they finally changed that prior to what they were going to do. It feels like it's in beta, and we're now the public beta testers. The people who play this game are the beta testers, and we keep sending them on the feedback. Hey, you know, here's a broken interaction. Here's a bug that I just found. This card doesn't work the way it wants to, and they have to go and fix that. And in my opinion, it's been 2 years now. You shouldn't be finding bugs in your game this consistently or this frequently, because that's what the beta testers should be doing. The testers should be playing this for like 8 to 10 hours a day and finding these bugs, trying to break the game for you so you can fix it before the game comes out. That's standard. That's standard for any gaming company out there, to not have this many bugs when the game comes out, which is why I'm saying it's in beta. Which is why I'm like, this is a beta game. It's in beta. It'll maybe come out fully in a few sets. What were the 3 decks, by the way? Sicario. Um, there was Ancient Fatigue, which soon became Bosco Fatigue. Or there was Tempest Aggro. There was Tempest Aggro. Those were essentially the 3 decks that just cycled that loop the entire time. Or technically it was Zuna Aggro, because before Zuna got the nerf, she was the best one. She was the best one. There were some hit or miss. There was Freshton's Lugnut there, which did amazing. But Freshton, correct me if I'm wrong, did your Lugnut deck run any buffs? Outside of like maybe Blast Spot? No, I do too. I do too. It's the game has such potential in how unique it is. But they've almost in a sense like pigeonholed themselves down to where they can go with it, because there is no source of card payment. There's no source of mana or income, so it's really hard to value and vary your action cards, because all your action cards have to be equivalent to one another. Otherwise, there's no point in running which ones. Which is why I'm saying the way to diversify them is to make all of them just extremely conditional based on the board state. That way, like, hey, this one runs off beast buffs, this one runs off elemental buffs. Everything runs off like a different family, which is what they're slowly leaning into. It's the simple fact that, like, cards that are just flat out 5 damage are gonna be 10 times better than anything that's like, hey, this does 2 damage, but increase it by 3 if you have 2 beast buffs on board. Because then you have to build up a board. You have to wait a few turns to get that increase to 5, when you could just deal 5 and not have to worry about your board state. That's what it is. That's what this has come down to. That is a very good question, and you're correct about the attack card theory. Essentially, yeah. I like... I don't want to start like tooting my own horn here, but I do feel like I have some valid opinions. It has been known that people don't like all of my opinions, which is fine. Which is fine. When I said we need to change Crazed Bomber because it was legitimately holding the entire game back, not just tech alone, and everyone was like, no, I love Bomber. Leave my Bomber alone. Don't do it. And then they changed it. And now afterwards, everyone's like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. And then I said it about Tentacles. I said Tentacles need to be changed because a card that gets you infinite value that doesn't really slow your opponent down, where you can lay a butler, you can interact, where you could put down a damage reduction and have your opponent go, oh, do I actually use my ability and waste potential damage on this card? No, it's infinite damage. I'll just always use my ability regardless, and it brought the IQ game of the game down extremely, because it was never like, oh, do I actually want to use my ability now if it's not going to give me as much value as before, and I'm going to waste the value. It's infinite value. And everyone's like, don't touch Tentacles. Tentacles is so good right now. Why are you doing it? Then they touched it. Then they did what I said to do it. Everyone's okay with it. Everyone's like, okay, that's not that bad. I'm like, that's what I said. So I kind of find it funny. I kind of find it hilarious that all the changes that I'm saying we need to do, everyone is so upset when I say them. And then when they actually legitimately do what I tell them to do, or what I ask them, or what I'm saying, like I suggest, I guess I'm not asking or telling them. I'm suggesting them. Let me get that correct, because I'm not a part of the dev team. I don't really talk to them. I just say it in my streams, and I post videos, and I post it on feedback. So it's publicly known for everybody. What I suggest is that the attack and defend cards, the future of the game, your attack and defend cards cannot be equivocally valued as the same of your buffs. Otherwise, no one will run buffs if your opponent legitimately cannot interact with attack and defend cards. So then it becomes a non-interactive game, and the game that you've built, the game that you've made that everyone enjoys so much, will just be who can lay their cards faster, as opposed to who can come up with a really cool board state. And in order to do that, you give your attack and defend cards conditional increases based on your board state. You give it based on your board state. And then you're fine. But if you legitimately can win a game, sometimes more efficiently than your opponent, because you don't run buffs, and you don't interact with your opponent at all, and you just run really quick card draw, or just really sublime healing to kind of negate some of their damage, like Blackwell was doing. He ran Duskfeeder and like Blinding Beetle and Twilight Oracle. It was card draw, it was hand disruption, and it was big spikes in healing. Those are the only heals he had. The rest of it was just card draw. Was just damage and card draw. There was no buffs, there was no interaction, and he beat me both times. The only time I came close was in a buffless deck, where all I did was just damage. Blackwell was obliterating you today. I mean, yeah. And the thing is, like, he was doing it without running any buffs. He was doing it without playing a third of the card pool in the entire game. And he was winning without touching a third of the card pool. Like, how? How do we do that? And in my opinion, also, your combos. Planetary, people are sitting here like, Planetary Alignment's busted. Yeah, it's a flat line of 12 damage. That's one of the easiest things to pay for. And they brought it back. They had to nerf Black Hole from 9 damage to 6 damage. They nerfed a bunch of other combo damages down by 1 point to make the game last a little longer. But it's just like, isn't it more than a third? It might be. It might just be. I'd have to look and see. If someone actually wants to go into the Lightseeker's website and let me know like how many attack cards there are in the game, how many defend cards, and how many buff cards, like a numerical split, that'd be awesome. But yeah, right now it's the simple fact. It's the simple fact. I've said it so many times, I feel like I'm just repeating myself. That every action card has to be equivalent because there is no incremental pay scale for cards. So there needs to be incremental value increases on cards themselves. And because you have to build up a board state, they want you to build up a board state. Wow! I did not know it was that heavy split. 110 attack, 107 defense, 300 buffs. Okay. So, 60% of the cards are not even being touched. 60% of the cards are not even being touched. Because why would you want to run cards that your opponent can interact with when you can just kill them with cards they can't do anything about? That number right there, really, that's a knife in the heart to see. Like, I thought it was an even split, you know, like, what was that, 500, so like 165, like something like that, spread out a little evenly. That, someone clip. I legitimately don't know how to clip my own stream, so that's why there's not many clips. If I found out how to clip stuff, I would definitely do clips. 51 combo attack, 38 combo defense, 129 combo buffs. Right now, I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna go through here. We're just gonna look at the cards. We'll look at Astral. We'll look at their combos. And we'll look at the ones that are commonly run versus the ones that we never see, right? Enlightenment we see because it's card draw. It's a defend. Phase Shift, unless it's in Fatal Zeph's OTK, which is no longer a thing because Moss Armor's gone, you never really saw that. Muddled Star Signs we're only really seeing to run along with Sunstrike. We're seeing Tidal Shift. Corona Loop we're seeing sometimes. Anti-Gravity Field we definitely saw. Gravity Bubble is like an auto-include no matter what deck you're running. Planetary Alignment, auto-include. Black Hole, almost auto-include. Solar Wind was essentially an auto-include back in the day because it had potential like 16 damage. That was over half your health. Reality Rift in certain decks. That could bring back, you know, just a combo buff or something like that. Like, a good. I didn't really see a whole lot of combo buffs. People weren't running these. No one really runs Antimatter Field. Super Gravity, no one's really running, unless it's in like a Halvar and you just want another combo payment because there's not a whole lot for him. Vibrant Glare is actually a really interesting one, but I don't see people running it. Rippling Flare was a really good one. I saw a lot of people do. Starstorm, not as impactful. Not as impactful as it should be. Why do what? What is this? 7 damage and 7 healing when you could do 7 damage and get an additional action for more damage with essentially the same payment. And that's instantaneous. I never really saw people run these. So once again, the combo buffs, no one's touching. Now we're going to Dread. Burst of Venom, we saw a lot of people do. I will say, Death Shroud we saw, because it was defensive and it wasn't rotational. Like, it was there. Devour Soul, I saw a lot of. Grasping, or Ghostly Grasp, I saw a lot of. Terrify, I saw a lot of. Just in Standard, there's 242 buffs, 83 attacks, and 90 defense. Wow. Wow. And the only buffs I think people were running are Cage of Oppression, Mountain Breaker, because those ones can't be removed. Constant buffs like Colossi Skybeam, I know is being run at some like the Howlock deck. But yeah, Venom Veins I think is only really run to pay for Burst of Venom, and because it interacts with attack cards. So when your opponent's attacking you, it's an okay one to have on the board. Horrific Manifestation, I saw a lot. Poison Spray, I still see a lot. Shadow Form is a good one because it's healing and prevents attacks, which is what your opponent's doing the entire time. So that's probably one of the only buffs I've seen. Obfuscation, because it cannot be removed. It can't be removed, so there's technically a buffless buff, one that can't be really interacted with. Ritual of Awakening could not be removed. This was seen everywhere. Toxic Haunt was a constant one that if it was removed did damage to him, so that was okay in having. Now we're going to Mountain. Inferno I saw everywhere. Lava Shedding I saw. Rock Melter I saw. Rupture only lasted for 1 turn, but it got you 4 card draws. Blazing Cauldron I saw. Crushing Blows in every single deck out there. Magma Blast I saw a lot of. Stream of Tantos is in every single Mountain deck. Invocation of Flames is becoming a new one that I'm starting to see. Just me. Wrath of the Mountain was always seen. Outside of those, I don't see a whole lot of other ones that people ran or needed to run. Searing Beam and Shatterflame, if people are running the Ancient, they're some of the only 2 combos that you can run right now. No one ran Prism MK2. Not a lot of people ran Rock Fists. No one ever ran this. Jack of all trades I'm really not even seeing anywhere, and it's a decent one. It's a decent combo buff, but I'm not seeing it run over all the damaging ones. Nature Ambush was a huge one. Camouflage prevents you from being attacked. That's always run. Fatal Rage was huge. Life Binding was okay. It was healing, but I mean, it was big healing. And Nature didn't have a whole lot of big healing. Spiritual Turmoil, just because if they didn't remove it, it kept coming back to your hand. That was okay to be seen. Fungal Spores actually was not seen a whole lot. Nature's Fury wasn't seen a whole lot because there were better ones. Territorial Dominance was seen. Treetop Tribunal was seen because it couldn't be removed. Vine Lash was 14, and it's like if your opponent doesn't remove it that turn, it has instantaneous effects. One with Nature, just because you could bring it back with Regrowth back in the day, was huge. Beast from Within wasn't even really seen a whole lot because you were running these 2, so why run Beast or one with Nature? Right now, Chain Lightning is seen. Flying Debris was hugely seen. Murky Waters was seen. Overload was seen a lot. Healing Rain, unless it was a Miller's Stall, you didn't really see. Storm Calling, because you want to get your combos back, yeah. Cleansing Wind was huge. Cold Snap is still huge. Electrified Deluge was huge. Eye of the Storm wasn't even really seen. Storm Strike is still being seen quite a bit. Storm Wall is the only one, but again, you can't be attacked while it's on the board. So yeah, it's huge. Flood was a huge one to see. Tornado was a huge one to see. Crushing Rapids even now is a good one to see because it's a board clear. Rolling Thunder really wasn't seen a whole lot. Biting Blizzard, even right now, I don't come across a whole lot of Storm decks that run Biting Blizzard, and it's a phenomenal combo. It's not seen. Yeah, all attack and defend cards. All attack and defend cards. In this one, Blast Sequence was run to pay for Overwhelming Blast. Let's be honest about that. Time Flicker was always seen. That's draw 4 cards. Draw 5 essentially. Nitro Heal was seen. Smart Bomb was seen to help pay for Nitro Heal. Shatter Blast was seen. Even right now, Chrono Dash is starting to be seen a little bit. Time Collapse was always in there. Like Quantum Loop wasn't even seen. And I'm looking through these. What other buffs did we see? And it's just there's not. Rocket Star subscribed for 5 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Thank you, man. I appreciate the resub. It means a lot. Like all of these cards, and the only ones that were run were attack and defend. What do you do? What do you do with that? It's sorry, I was holding a yawn. It's just like it when there is. Are you doing rant about attack cards again? Yes, I am, Rocket Star. Yes, I am. And we just if you just tuned in, we just got a numerical breakdown of this. Okay, we just got a numerical breakdown of this. There are 242 buffs in this game. There's 83 attacks and 90 defend cards in this game total, just action cards. Think about that. Think about how widely spread out the buffs are, and the fact that no one runs them. The fact that no one really runs them. There is. That's just, yeah, it's just in standard. There is about 130 more cards. Or no, I'm trying to think. If you add them up together, that's what, 170 to 140? That's still 70 cards more total than attack and defend cards have combined that buffs have. And none of them are being used. None of them are being utilized. Because why would you? Why would you? There are almost 3 times more buff cards than attack cards. Yeah. There are about, yeah. 60% of the entire card pool is buffs. And the best way to play this game is with no buffs in your deck. That should be an eye-opener. In all retrospect, that should be a huge eye-opener to play Fusion. Like, what? The buffs that are being run. Let's go ahead in here. The buffs that are being run. Not really seeing that. Astronomer every once in a while, along with the Dawnstalker. Like there are certain decks out there that do run buffs and that do well, but they're like almost OTK decks. They're not just consistent. Is it still the best way? In my opinion, yeah. We just went against what, 3 people in a row, and not a single person I saw play a buff. Blackwell laid 1, but it was like 1 in a blue moon. Like a 4 damage prevention. And it was Selene, so even if he didn't want it, he just discarded. But yeah, 3 people in a row. I've only played 3 matches today. And every single person I played just didn't run buffs. Just didn't run them. It was Razo. Razo didn't run buffs. Not that I saw. If he did, maybe I forgot about him. Then I went against Blackwell 2 times, and he didn't run any buffs. And that was that. That was that. Yeah, we'll just keep going through here. Flying Fortress was seen before it got nerfed, and it was busted. And there was like OTK synergies. Made ship back before we got all the attack and defend cards was used. Joltai could be a good one, or Jolty could be a good one, or Arkmas. Yeah, I mean, they can. Because it's, once again, it's a card that utilizes your board state. So it really emphasizes the fact that you should be playing buffs. But until we get more cards like that, until we get more cards that really work with a board state that can compete with the cards that you just get value out of instantaneously from your hand, you're not going to do much. You're not going to change up the game that much. Subjugator was probably the only one seen because your target couldn't attack you for 2 turns. That was huge. Didn't really see. Nope, not as good. No, none of those were really seen. Now Dread's different. Dread is different. Dread was the buff heavy things because of this one card right here. The pre-nerfed Tentacle. This was the card that made like buffs, because you just put a board down of buffs that didn't rotate. They all were clunky corner buffs that didn't rotate unless you triggered it. And that means your board state could just be huge. And your opponent didn't have to worry about them rotating out at a certain time. They had to remove them, or you were just going to overwhelm them. And it's because they didn't rotate. It was because they conditionally rotated. And in my opinion, those are 10 times better than any buffs out there, is the conditional rotating ones. Because they're just a constant threat on board to your opponent. As opposed to like, oh, you know, I can live 2 turns, fine. But if it just sits out there for you to use whenever, then yeah, it's threatening. All of these Abyss cards are seen. Oh, sorry, I did get a lot of sleep last night. Cats woke us up. Ah, darn cats. But yeah, I think Dread works well with buffs because of all of the graveyard recursion it has, where you can lay the buffs, your opponent can remove them, and then you just get them back. And then you just get them back, and they become the same value on the board. And it really goes to show how impactful some of these buffs can be if you can just overwhelm your opponent with them and survive. And Dread has a lot of damage and healing interactions, like Bone Reaper, like Gorge Stalker, like Soul Thief. Like, it has a lot of attack and defend, which made them work really well. Because you could do 2 things in one, which is what you want your stuff to do. But outside of that, yeah, attacks are better. So let's see here. Carabin Scavenger was seen because it could bring back Assassin's Guild. It could bring back Assassin's Guild. Graveyard was seen because a lot of your... well, actually, it wasn't seen a whole lot. Gurgling Ooze was almost never seen because your opponent's never buffed, so why put this down there if your opponents aren't playing buffs? Night Lurker was seen for a while in Sicario. I'm sorry, guys. Because it was an attack ability for 2 damage, which triggered all your other shadow buffs. All these are new. Putrid Shaman was seen. Because, like I said, you can put this down in a board full of like 16 buffs that didn't rotate until you wanted them to, and then you just blew your opponent out. You just killed him, overwhelmed him. Shadow Supplier was card draw based on your board. Huge. I think this is a very actually well-designed card. It's just like your shadow buffs are the consistent ones. They don't rotate out at certain times. So this is a lot easier to get out and play than, say, like cards like Astronomer, where that one is just impactful. And you could remove other buffs to make Shadow Supplier null and void. But there's just so many shadow buffs you can put out and just have them sit out there forever. Shadow Wraith was played a lot because you couldn't attack me for a turn. Spectral Widow was seen. Instant effect on the board. Got through damage prevention if they were trying to heal.
Swamp Creeper, you only played one, and it was late in the game, and it brought you your discard back. It was Graveyard Recursion. I didn't even see Toxic Frog Run, in all honesty, because there was no point. And then Wall of Bones, because if you're running that many Shadow buffs, yeah, this feels good. Now for Mountain, Ancient Miner was card draw. Yes. Colossal Ritual Site, damage increase. And it was not this, it was up here. So yeah, get one good turn off it. Draga Scorcher was run, because it's one turn later, but it was like, essentially it's just another attack card. It's just a turn later attack. And if it's removed, whatever. You're not going to lay two of them at the same time. And if you did get a Draga Scorcher Colossal Ritual Site turn, your opponent was dead. Your opponent was just dead. And there's nothing they could do about it unless they had buff removal that turn. Exterior Defender cancels the next attack. That one was seen because it was interactive to your opponent. This one actually wasn't seen a whole lot. Magma Worm wasn't seen a whole lot. Mountain Breaker is now being seen because it can't be removed. Mountain Fort is seen because this doesn't last for 3 turns. It lasts for 4 sources of damage. Major Havoc, have a good one, man. Have a good one. Prism Cannon, you almost never saw. Rickety Miner and Enchanted Soul, you did because healing wasn't that forceful your opponent to remove. It was just, yeah, you healed for a little bit. Shattered Volcano was only seen in Granite. Back before it was busted. These are all new that you didn't see before. Yeah, I mean, I could go through these all day and find out which cards were not seen. And now we're just ranting about the game for a good hour and a half, 2 hours. The game, in its entirety, has a really cool concept. It really does. But the way the developers went about making some of these cards, they didn't think about just how consistent it is to just lay attack and defend cards without having a board state and still get you there. Then what's the point of having buffs? What's the point of having buffs? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Not a single sense. Like pennies on the dollar, none of it. God, it's just, it hurts. It hurts, man. Anyway, I think I've ranted enough. I'm going to take a quick break, grab a water bottle. I'll be right back. And we will probably play draft. I'm in the middle of a draft right now with a Dread deck. So we'll probably play draft because ranked is very quickly losing my interest. Very quickly losing my interest because of the way the game is made. In that there's no reason in playing legitimately 60% of the cards. There's no reason to play over half of the cards. And that is a huge flaw that PlayFusion needs to take into consideration. You really do. So, I'll be right back. We will play some draft when I return. I will go play the game. Alright, Freshen, have a good one, man. So, yeah, I will be right back, guys.